Turn it down.
I started that already.
There you go. Come on, stop. People getting places.
Take that big plate on
Let me have it, Robin. Let me have it.
It's okay.
I'm waiting for you to stand up and you be like,
I'm
I
good.
could have put it right there. All ready. Let me know. 3, 2, 1, 2.
Hi, thank you for joining us today. We decided at the last minute to do a family cooking lesson. My family came in to visit. My niece will be living with us for a few. So I said, well, what better way is to do a cooking lesson and include my family in. So I want to introduce you to my family. Right here we have Al. We have Robin. That's Al, that's Robin. My niece Elise, and my ex-husband, best friend, besides David, Graylin. So I want to welcome you all. Thank you for joining us. So today we're going to do Bourbon Pecan Salmon. Also, we're going to do Bourbon Pecan Chicken because someone at our tasting table cannot eat salmon. And then also I've gotten some questions about tofu or vegan. So anything that I cook using meat, just keep in mind, tofu takes on the flavor of whatever spice or whatever herb or whatever sauce you use. So you can use tofu for this. Where I use butter, they have vegan butter. Just substitute what my fat stuff for the good stuff. And you can make the same dish. I don't know about the taste because I'm not vegan and I don't eat vegan, so I can't tell you about the taste of this, but I do know that you can use it to substitute. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and light my, David usually lights my fire.
Oh.
Okay.
But I'm going to light my fire today because David is, he's being my cameraman. So look y'all, I did that without burning my eyebrows. All right. So over here I have my pan. So what we're going to do first is make a rice pilaf. So I've gotten some butter and I'm going to put this in my pan and melt this really good. Once this melts, once this melts, I'm going to add the rice and some peas and corn, and then the water. Follow directions on your rice packet. So we're using, and I can't say the name because they're not paying me, but I'm using a box rice mix. And I'm just going to doctor it up. Y'all hear that? That's some good stuff right there. So I'm going to doctor this up. So growing up, Robin will tell you, our grandfather always said, you toast your bread and you brown your rice. You never eat white. So I'm going to put my rice in here. And that's 2 boxes because we have a lot of people that we're feeding. And I'm going to stir this around and we're going to brown this rice in this butter. Let it sit for a little bit. So once that does, and also this box rice pilaf that I'm using also has flavor packets. So I'll be putting the flavor packets in here as well. Like I said, I'm not sharing the name because they're not paying me. And we're also gonna do, have some green beans. So, put that on here. Put the lid on here and just kind of let that get hot, real hot. So over here on this pan, we're gonna start with, I'm gonna start with the chicken. I'm sorry, I forgot to pull my chicken and my salmon out of the refrigerator. So
I'm gonna use the family.
I'm gonna use the family to help me cook. So this is really hot. I don't want to burn my butter. So when you have this situation, just cool off your pan. And that's what I'm doing, just trying to cool off my pan. And my fire is really hot. So I better bring that fire on down. This is right here. Thank you. So we're gonna do the chicken first because the chicken will take a little bit longer. So I have some butter that I'm gonna melt. And I've cleaned my chicken already and cut it into pieces. That's good. So my rice is starting to brown. Stir it up. I'm gonna turn my fire down a little bit because I wanted to get it to the point where it's starting to brown. So if you can look at this, okay, so I have my butter going. And for the chicken, I got this going for here. So now I'm gonna add my vegetables and my water. If you're gonna use regular rice, you always do 2 to 1. Seasoning pack, stir it, put a lid on it, turn your fire down, and let it cook. So that's the rice. So I got that down. This is the chicken, for the chicken. So I'm gonna add my brown sugar. I'm gonna add my brown sugar in here. Make sure that it's melted with the butter. Just like that. Okay. Then I'm gonna add my pecans. Mix that all up. Then I'm going to take my chicken. So where I'm using this chicken in here, this is where you would use your tofu. You do everything the same way as I'm doing this. And I've cut the chicken in strips so it won't take so long to cook. Okay. So I'm gonna turn my fire down some more because these hot plates get really hot. And be careful when you do this because like I said before, when you're using brown sugar and you're using butter and pecans, it turns to candy if it gets too hot. And we're not trying to make candy chicken. So I'm gonna put my lid on this, and I'm just gonna let this simmer for about a couple of minutes on each side. Once I let this simmer for a couple of minutes on each side, I'm gonna flip it. When I flip it, then I'll pour some of the brown sugar and the pecans over top of it. Then I'm gonna get my Jack Daniels and pour it all over that and just let it simmer. All right, so now let's get all the formalities out of the way while they're simmering. You can find the recipe for the bourbon pecan salmon, which I'll cook. I've done it before, so just look back. In here on page 87. This is my book. You can get it from Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Walmart.com, RoseDogBookstore.com. Spice it up, recipes with a sensual twist. You can find recipes like this or any other recipes. That's this easy. And it's going to take a little bit because chicken is a little bit thicker than the salmon. So what I'll do is once I get all this done, or to the point where I want it, then I'll put it on the back of the stove, and while it's cooking with the, while the rice is cooking on the stove, this will be cooking as well, and then I'll go ahead with my family and I'll teach them how to do it with the salmon. Like I said, if you want to see the salmon, just look back in the videos. I've done the salmon before, so you'll see that. So let's go ahead and finish this. Let me put this over here. So each one of my little containers holds a half a cup of Jack Daniels. So I'm putting this on. So my family is saying, that's a good smell. So it's going to be like a little nutty, sweet, drunk kind of chicken. All right, so I'm going to put this on the stove. David, you see that? Okay, I'm going to put the lid back on it. Put it on the back of the stove. And let this cook on low. And you try not to do that. All right, we're going to do the green beans real quick.
Except with the fire.
Which?
Fire.
Yeah, I took it up. So my sister told me my fire just went out. But I'm going to light it again. I would let David light it, but he's doing such an excellent job at that, I don't want to disturb him. So, we're going to do our green beans, and I'm using frozen green beans. All right, I gotta light my fire, y'all. Please bear with me, because you know, I really don't like to light my fire. You want me to do this one?
Well, light that one and then push it.
Like this one? All right, I'm gonna light my fire, y'all. Look at this. And then they told me to move this over. Okay. It makes sense. All right, so we're gonna get this pan a little hot. Once it gets hot, in here I have some butter, and I found a garlic herb butter in the store, so I kind of mix it together. and it gives your food a good flavor, whether you're cooking collard greens, whether you're cooking kale, whether you're cooking cabbage, whether you're cooking any kind of vegetable. This garlic herb butter. Go to the store and look for it. I'm not saying the name, but you can find it in the butter section. Garlic and herb. And if you go to the store, get the garlic and herb, just put a little spoonful of whatever on your food, and it takes it to another level. So that's what I have here, some garlic herb butter and some regular butter. So in my travels, I went to Spain and I got these little bottles of olive oil, and it's just the right amount of olive oil that I need. You probably can find it at any kind of specialty store here in the States that will carry like different kind of foods. Maybe even, what is it, World Market or something like that?
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods. Look, they didn't even pay me to advertise their names, but I have to tell you something or where to go to try to find it. If not, just use your regular bottle of olive oil. And I'll just put that in here. And the reason I do that is so that the butter does not burn. I mix it with the olive oil so that the butter does not burn. As fast. All right, so now we're going to take our frozen green beans, and I'm going to put it in here. Just like this. Put that in there. All right, so now it's time to spice it up. So, pepper, I have some, this is like a bouillon, crushed granulated bouillon. And I'm pouring it in my hand so you can see it. Okay? Be careful with this because it'll take on, it's got a lot of salt in it. So when I go to use my salt, I won't use a lot because all the salt that's in here, okay? Garlic powder. Let me see if this will open up. It does. So I'm gonna put some garlic powder on this. And then I'm going to use some seasoned salt. All right. And the granulated, I probably used about a teaspoon of granulated chicken. So I just want to mix this up. I'm going to put a lid on this, and I'm going to put this on the stove somewhere over there. I'm going to let that cook until it's desired texture, or the desired texture that you would like. And then when it's almost to that, this is Parmesan cheese. You take this and you just sprinkle it all over top of the green beans. Now we're getting ready to do the salmon. So I have it here. I'm going to get my skillet hot. I have a habit of forgetting once I light these things that it doesn't take long and then my skillet starts smoking. So I'm going to put that in there like that. Bring over my ingredients. That's the brown sugar, so that's a cup of brown sugar. Chopped pecans. the good stuff. And then I have my salmon. So I've cleaned my salmon earlier, and it's easier for me to work. I put it into a Ziploc bag because it's good for, that's how I store it in the refrigerator until I'm ready to cook it. So I don't want to turn this up too hot because I don't want to burn this butter. Now I got my chicken on the back, still cooking. So I'm going to go over, once I get the brown sugar and the pecans done, I'm going to go over and spoon up some more of the juice that's in the bottom of the pan up on top of that chicken. So first, I'm going to add the brown sugar once again. And like I said, do this, the butter, use the vegan butter. And instead of meat, cut up your tofu any way you want, slice or thick slice, thin slice, chunks, whatever you want, cut it up. So here's my brown sugar has melted. I'm gonna add the pecans. And just make sure that the pecans are coated with the brown sugar and the butter. Let that get a little bit warm. I'm gonna come over here and spoon up my juice on my chicken. Spoon up the juice on the chicken with the pecans. Y'all smell it?
Mm-hmm. It's good.
All right.
It's been smelling good.
It's been smelling good. All right, so I'm going to go back over here, put it back here. All right, now I'm going to stir this up again, make sure. All right, so that's nice and hot. I'm going to take my salmon and I'm going to put it in here on here like this. This salmon dish will take about a total of 12 minutes to cook from start to finish. All right, so we'll cook it for 3 minutes on this side. I'll flip it, cook it for 3 more minutes. Spoon up the, just like I did with the chicken, spoon up the juice and the brown sugar, the butter, the pecans and the bourbon. Spoon it all over that, cover it up, and then you let it, just cut the fire down and let it simmer for 3 more minutes. That's a total of 9 minutes cooking. 3 minutes was for the brown sugar and the pecans and the butter. So it's a total of 12 minutes. All right, so that's 1 piece. Yeah. 2 pieces. All right, so now that I've turned this over, and I'm gonna let this side cook for 3 minutes. Now here comes the goodness. And please do not get this on fire, because if it does, it will burn. It will start a fire. It's alcohol. All right, so now I've turned it over. I've mixed it all up. I'm gonna put a lid on this, which I probably do not have one big enough for that. Let's see if this one will fit. Ah, what about that? So we're gonna let this go for 3 minutes, and it'll be done. And I want to thank y'all. I appreciate you supporting me. Just give me time. I'm going to try to do this on a more regular basis. Once again, great graduation gift for somebody graduating, somebody getting married, birthday, Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day, because you know the man got to cook too, and he got to learn how to spice it up. So, spice it up, recipes with a sensual twist. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.